Time for the fantasy football girls.
I'm Jean,
And I'm Talia.
and welcome to
Fantasy Football Girls.
All right, ready for some busts? Let's go to Terrence West in Cleveland versus the Ravens defense. Terrence West had a great second week. You know, he was really good with Ben Tate still out. You know, he rushed 68 yards and a touchdown, adding 2 receptions for 22 yards, so he does catch the ball.
Yeah.
You know,
he did great on my bench. Week 3, he won't do as well. Ravens D already showed what they can do. This isn't, I think, yes, the Browns did well against the Steelers.
What was that, Steelers? They're going to come back this weekend,
Right,
don't you worry.
Sure, they're great.
The Ravens rush D was ranked 11th in the NFL. Cincinnati went 26 attempts, 79 yards, and as usual, 0 touchdowns. Pittsburgh had the same problem. Yes, I'm still, getting over my loss.
Yeah,
They
sorry
were
about that.
No, you're not. Probably bet against them. Anyway, they were held to 2 field
I
goals.
had Antonio Brown. It's not like they did better in the passing game.
Oh, I have Antonio Brown on my chest, okay? So I'm very upset, and, so is Antonio Brown. He was injured a little bit in this game.
I know.
So, but anyway, we won't talk about that.
Back to the
rushing game. The Russian attack. Yes, the Steelers were held. They were held to 2 field goals. They didn't get a touchdown.
Yeah, I wouldn't start Terrence West versus the Ravens.
Either would I. So,
Yeah.
let's do
Lay
it.
off because he's a bust.
He's a bust. Terrence West. Bye-bye.
Monte Ball versus the Seattle Seahawks defense. Monte is my guy in my Vegas league. I am worried about his welfare this week. Going up against the Seahawks in week 1 and 2, they injured the number 1 running back on both teams that they faced. Eddie Lacy, week 1, knocked him out with a concussion. Week 2, injured Ryan Matthews, who could be out for a few weeks. He's my number 2 running back in our league. They're killing me. They're literally hurting these other teams. And beyond the injuries, in week 1, between Lacy and Starks, they only had 80 rushing yards. They did allow Starks a touchdown. In week 2, they didn't allow the Chargers any touchdowns. This isn't a new trend. The Seahawks were tied for number 1 last year as the best in preventing rushing touchdowns, only allowing 4 all season. That's pretty stiff. And they tied for 7th in the NFL with rushing yards allowed, only allowing an average of 101 per game.
So maybe Denver should just sit out Monte Ball with us.
I know. I'm also worried that if they hurt him, that C.J. Anderson will just end up taking over the running back 1 position, even if Monte Ball is healthy again. So, red flags everywhere. Don't love him going up against the Seahawks. He did all right in week 2. They only gave him 12 carries and 3 passes for a total of 89 yards. And yeah, it's not going to be better than that versus the Seahawks. So you, like me, probably can't afford to bench him. If you happen to have if you have like Sproles on your bench,
please
like I did, play him again. I played him this week. Very happy with that instead of Ryan Matthews, which turned out to be a good call.
It's hard not to play your RB1 though.
But yeah, let's hope they survive and don't get injured like so many running backs did this past week. I think at this point, all we can hope for is having healthy players in our starting lineup. But yeah, look, if you happen to be loaded, maybe sit the busts, start the ballers. Good luck.
Feel free to bust our balls too.
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us and bust our balls at Fantasy FB Girls on Twitter. That's Fantasy Football Girls. And, if you like these videos, you can subscribe our YouTube channel. You're there right now if you're watching this. youtube.com/fantasyfootballgirls. And we will speak with you soon.
Yay!
Cheers!
Fantasize a world where girls don't wanna talk diamonds, pearls. They wanna talk fade routes, outs, and curls. Time for the fantasy football girls. Time for the fantasy football girls. Fantasy